The controversy surrounding Filson watches has been well documented in the watch community. Tom Kartsotis, who is the founder of Bedrock Manufacturing, is also the founder of Fossil Watches and served as a CEO from 1984 to the year 2000. Shinola was a brand name that was acquired by his LLC, the Bedrock Manufacturing Company, as was Filson. Now, in spite of all of the hubbub that these are just $500 Fossil watches, I wanted to see them in person and give you my impressions of them and talk about whether or not they might be something worth actually checking out in person, or if they are just a complete facsimile to a real watch. Now, in person, these have stainless steel cases, they have sapphire crystals, and they have very nice leather straps. We're looking at different versions of the Runwell right now, Shinola's kind of base level, entry level, first introduction into watches. The case design is extremely retro, I would say kind of primitive with all of the polishing and the small lugs. It really harkens to a Timex design, actually, in my opinion. We have a few different variants as far as different complications go. We've got a chronograph here. All of the watches made by Shinola and Filson watches, which are also made by Shinola, have quartz movements. The reason is quite obvious to people who know the inside story. Ronda Quartz, a Swiss quartz watchmaker, is owned by Bedrock Manufacturing Company. Now you'll notice that this is a beautiful strap. This is a well-made strap. They're using Horween leather, which is based out of Illinois. It's a great leather company. They make fantastic leather, some of the best in the business. Now here's an example of one Shinola that has some kind of bead blasted case. Very uniform, very nice. The thing is these are probably not worth what people are paying for them. These are just assembled in Detroit from imported parts. There's a lot of questions about where those parts are made. I'm not going to get into that in detail. But the finished product, at least, is very nice. You've got very even polishing, a nice, well-seated crystal, and the onion crown does adjust nice and cleanly, and I think the watch is well assembled. I don't think that these are really worth more than $150, though, at least compared to some of the Japanese watches I've seen. Now, of course, Filson has arrived with much fanfare. They are also owned by the same LLC that Shinola is owned by, so it sort of is a no-brainer that they would just, lean on their manufacturers to make a watch that sort of suits the style of Filson, and I like Filson a lot, so I was curious to see these watches. I definitely like the kind of military field style that a lot of these watches have. There's, I think, in my opinion, a little bit more attention paid to the casework of these watches. And I also think that the straps, which are distinctive Filson straps, are a little bit nicer. The thing is, though, is that as nice as these cases are constructed and as nice as the straps are, you're still just looking at a Swiss Ronda Quartz movement, which can't be worth more than $10 to manufacture. And even though Filson will take care of these watches, I imagine, for a long time, there just isn't the magic of a mechanical watch in any of these watches. And so whatever kind you get, whether it's just a straight three-hander with a date aperture or a GMT or whatever, it's just not going to have those same features. My impression of the bracelet on the Filsons was that it was fine, but definitely not any better than a lot of the boutique watches that are competitive that come with automatic movements. I really think that ultimately you're paying a lot for the brand name and for the advertising that's going into these watches when you're buying them. Now, if these watches really suit your taste and you don't care about automatic watches, well, they are attractive. I mean, these Filsons have a coated sapphire crystal, so the play of the dial with the light and the quality of the straps, all of the details in the watch are really well put together. These are well-designed watches. I don't want to say that they aren't. However, you need to just understand that basically you're getting a quartz watch that was, I would really want to say, probably manufactured for a vastly cheaper price than what you're paying for. You're paying a lot for advertising, and yes, you are paying partially for the fact that these watches are assembled in Detroit. Now, could I imagine a watch like this in a collection of field watches? Yes, I could. I could imagine having a nice or higher end quartz watch, just as a kind of a grab and go watch for something that's a beater. The nice Filson leather, the bridle leather that's used in the straps, is very comfortable, and I imagine that they would be well broken in. The straps, which cost for around $100, I would not say are nicer than the custom straps that you could easily find for the same price. The Zulu straps, or the NATO straps, however you want to call them, do have very impressive roller buckles. I was definitely impressed with the level of quality and the construction of those things. That might be something that I would consider buying. The watch overall, though, I'm just not sure. You know, there are other products that were at the store that just interested me more that day. As a watch guy, this is basically just a big beer company offering a product at a boutique price. These watches have been getting a lot of hype, and so I thought I'd just throw out a different perspective. I'm feeling pretty nonplussed about these watches. They're not bad, but I think there's definitely better choices for the money. Feel free to check out some of the other reviews of watches on my channel to get a sense of what I do like and recommend, and thanks a lot for your time.